You are now listening to Greek Critique, a podcast hosted by me, Alondra Oseguera. Today we'll be discussing the comic book Miss Marvel No Normal, Volume 1, Issue 1 by Willow Wilson. To start off, I'm going to be giving a small little summary of what the comic book is about to give a bit of a refresher for the listeners. Miss Marvel is about a teenage girl from Jersey City named Kamala Khan. We meet her and we learn about her struggles of feeling stuck between being Pakistani Muslim and trying to fit in with the quote unquote American life. She is a super loving nerd who wishes to be just like Captain Marvel. But as she sneaks out of her house without her parents' permission to go to a party, she is then knocked unconscious by a weird mist that spreads through the city, which causes her to have a hallucination of her favorite superheroes, which in return, once she wakes up, she she like figures out that she has powers to like turn into like shape shifting. She is able to turn into her favorite superhero, but before her vision finishes, Captain Marvel leaves her with a couple of words to paraphrase of she's going to get what she wants, but not in the way that she perceives it to be.
So how did it make you feel after reading that one issue of Miss Marvel?
Well, after reading the comic that you have given us for us to go over, um, I very felt resonated with the character herself and how she seems to be struggling internally with a lot of conflicts that are going on in her life, especially as a teenager. She seems to be fighting with her social life along with her own personal life when it comes to family, and how like we as teens had to constantly have these battles that we go through, especially for her at such a young age. It seems very like, I want to say, acceptable that she feels these emotions especially strongly, because as teens we're still growing, we're still developing, and she's going through many emotions, and also being a daughter of her, she seems to be very affected in this way.
That's interesting. I understand that, like being a person of color and like having to deal with going to a school with like predominantly like not people that you can fully like relate to, and her having like in the beginning having to sort of like try to fit in with the people. Like you see her.
She's trying to smell bacon in the sandwich or whatever it is that Bruno has uh in his store, and like having her try to fit in with the rest of the people because um she knows that like in her religion, her culture, they don't eat that stuff, but like trying to fit in with everybody else, seeing like they don't have to do that, her trying to fit in with the others, just like you can see the societal norms of like trying to fit in with the other people and trying to be oblivious of how rude like the white people in her school are, which is something that like I can relate to. In the like when I was in middle school, I went to a school where it's like all white people, and I also was discriminated against, and like it's a really sad thing, but it's something that I relate to. And like seeing her like obliviously like try to be like, oh yeah, they're probably like really nice. They're not like they're probably not mean to me. That's just probably how they joke when like in reality they're being rude to you and you just feel oblivious because you want to fit in with those people and like yeah. How did it make you feel when reading this for like the first time, seeing as it wasn't a white man or woman and it was actually a woman of color? How did that make you feel? Like, because usually all of the comic books they or superhero shows, movies, it's always been a white person, and they always end up just having like a person of color, but in their story, but they've always just been like the guy in the chair or like a sidekick. Like this time we have her as like the main character. Like, how did that make you feel?
Mm, I would say that I very much enjoyed seeing that, especially now with additions of female superheroes that are not overly sexualized because they're often overly sexualized or made to be seen as these like side characters or like the pretty dumb girls and are often not shown for their higher quality as the like male superheroes are. And especially seeing one of color, it is a big step because you were to add this character, let's say 10, 15 years ago, there would have been a huge uproar of backlash or hate. So it would generally cause such like with these changes, you see there's more inclusion of diversity, there's more equality in that way. And especially having a teenager at that,
Yeah.
it's like focusing on these like bigger issues and also it makes people like us as the audience see, oh, we could connect to the superhero. Oh, it's not just you're born with powers, you're great from the start. You see the character development and you see the
Yeah, you
struggle.
kind of see it at the end where she like gets her powers and like she has a character of like Captain Marvel, but it's them being like, this is what you want to be, but like that's not the outcome isn't going to be what you think it is. It's like basically telling her that like um basically telling her that like even though the what you want to be and she literally turns into a white woman, it's like that's not going to be what it is.
Yeah.